Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is my bonus footage from my time that I spent with the combat knife. Or as Ed Strip says, I can't imagine much bonus clips then, Stu. Well, there's some. I mean, I've got about 10 minutes, slightly under, I think. But that's good, you know, not every episode can be a bumper episode. And, you know, the shorter runtime makes it a bit easier to render and upload, so that's nice. It's the same with puns. Not every pun can be a good pun, but, well, I think most of you like the combat knife puns. Which is, in and of itself, quite a shame, because that means nobody's going to like the TAC 45 pun, because I couldn't really think of a good one. But that's by the by. Well, there'll be good puns in the future. Alright, yes, I also wanted to talk about the Xbox Ahoy Plays videos. Yes, I put out 2 of those last week, and I kind of want to get into the habit of doing them on a regular basis. I think the videos need some evolving, and, you know, with practice I'll become better at doing a natural live com. So as those videos progress, I'll change them up slightly. I might make them longer, I might make them shorter, I might even take a slightly different approach to the fundamental structure. Now, I know a lot of you want to see, like, entire games, like complete playthroughs, but I'm really looking for more of a format that I can do consistently, something that takes a consistent amount of time every single week. And with games being variable length, some games being impossibly long, other games being, you know, relatively short by comparison, I think it would be tough to get a consistent format that revolved around me completing games. Not to mention the fact that some games can't really be completed, and some games just become interminably dull towards the end, like driving games, like Test Drive Unlimited 2. Trust me, nothing interesting happened after the end of that Let's Play. It was just a bunch of boring old driving. So sort of setting a cap, like on a couple of hours worth of gameplay, that lets me try a new game every week, that lets me keep everything fresh, and I don't get bogged down doing the same thing over and over again. And that's kind of what I'm going for, is it's a new game every week, without sort of having to spend ages reviewing hours and hours of footage. So I think the first couple of hours of any given game, I think that's a good way to go about it. It also gives me an out if I don't want to finish the game, like with Doom 3, probably won't bother. Other people asking to see the full 2 hours, the unedited video, you're not missing out on much. There's just large periods of me not saying much, or me coughing, or other stuff. Editing lets me pep up the pace, make it a little bit more entertaining, and rest assured I'm picking out, you know, the interesting bits. If I ever get a decent internet, if I ever get a decent upstream, then maybe one day I could live stream these sessions. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough about those videos. I want to get on with the questions, because we don't have much time this week. So, Lupatube says, beer question, have you heard of San Miguel beer from the Philippines? Been asking this for quite some time, Stu. Yes, I have heard of San Miguel from the Philippines. We don't get it here in the UK, I think we get the San Miguel from Spain, which I think is a different beer. Pretty straightforward question, and I try to avoid pretty straightforward beer questions because they tend to be kind of boring. Sorry about that. Primey0 says, Stu, you seem to have a habit of crouching during each knife kill. Do you do this for any reason? Oh yes, the old spot of the ground bagging, as I believe the kids call it. I don't think I have a habit of doing it. I mean, if someone's prone, then you pretty much you have to crouch to be able to hit them, and I will quite clearly, you know, if I encounter him bouncing Betty, I will take a knee, because, well, otherwise I'll die. But, no, I wouldn't say I have a habit of it. Maybe I panic, and I panic crouch. iMoving Target 3 says, Stu, any time frame on when you're going to upload some Euro Truck Simulator 2? Well, that is a viable candidate for an Xbox Ahoy Plays episode, I suppose. I could do that on, if I'm short on a game one week, maybe I'll do that. But let's just say I have a rather special date planned, kind of an annual occurrence for a Euro Truck video. I'm going to say no more than that. LegoFan56 says, Stu, what is your opinion on dead subscribers? Now, I should point out that LegoFan is not, in fact, talking about those who have shuffled off this mortal coil, but rather just the portion of your subscriber base that doesn't watch your videos anymore. What do I think about such subscribers? Well, it's an unfortunate side effect of an aging channel, you know. You are going to lose a portion of your audience. It's, you know, it's a fact of YouTube. People move on, people stop playing Call of Duty, and that's okay. I mean, if you played Modern Warfare 2 and you enjoyed my videos back in the day, that's great. But if you aren't playing Black Ops 2, then maybe there's less reason for you to stick around. And I'm not saying you should go, you can stay if you like, but it's okay, it's okay. A channel needs kind of fresh viewers all the time, just to, you know, to keep everything churning over nicely. I think there are quite a few channels out there, Call of Duty channels I'm thinking of in particular, but channels who have had a lot of growth in the past, but have maybe slowed down in recent years, and they've got, like, you know, 3-figure subscriber counts, but they maybe get 2-figure view counts. And that's just the way things go. Everything decays. It's like a dynamo, you need to sort of keep it cranked, otherwise it dies off. I mean, it's good for the new channels, the little guys who are seeking to grow, that, you know, people want new stuff, that people sort of move on. It's just that, you know, the circle of life, as it were. Speaking of death, actually, it is quite a macabre thought that a portion of my subscriber base is very likely to be dead. Like, actual real dead subscribers, and that's, well, I don't know, that's kind of sad in a way. Memento mori and all that. Anyway, we should probably get our minds out of the grave and move on to the next question. TripJ001 says, do you not think a knife-only class setup would benefit greatly from a combat axe? Well, it certainly would be a way of extending your reach. My philosophy here was, I don't know, I preferred having a limited range. It sort of enhanced the stealthy ninja kind of feel to the class. And the combat axe is kind of useless anyway, you'd be better off with grenades. Well, alright, not useless, I mean, it is kind of good, I mean, if you practice with it. But in any case, my philosophy here is, for the combat knife loadout, I went for a pure knife build. For the ballistic knife, you can be certain I'm going to get a combat axe in there. And go for a more sort of equipment-heavy class, definitely. MC Al Capone says, Stu, what was your home PC of choice back in the 1980s? Also, are you a fan of Ashen's? In the 1980s, I rocked a ZX Spectrum 128K. I mean, my parents bought it, obviously, because I was quite young at the time. But that's what I learned to program BASIC on, and that's what I played the vast majority of games on. I think I had it between the years of 1987 or something like that, and 1991. 1991 was when I got my first 16-bit home computer, the Amiga 500 Plus. As for Ashen's, yes, I'm a big fan of Ashen's. I watch most of his videos. Although I'm sure the reverse is not true, because no sensible person like Ashen's would be a fan of Call of Duty. Hooten McBurg says, random question, have you ever got into tabletop gaming? Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Warhammer, etc.? A little bit, yes. Back in the day, I was quite an avid collector of Warhammer 40,000. I started out on the Space Marines. I had a small Dark Angel contingent, but I later graduated to a Tyranid army, which I very much preferred. But I wasn't really huge on actually playing the game, I was more into painting and collecting. That was the more appealing aspect for me. Rambo Panda 1 says, Stu, as somebody who also edits, do you have any tips for adding colour correction to all those clips, or is it just a long process? I go for kind of a one-size-fits-all. What do? I boost saturation slightly, boost level slightly, clip gamma, increase contrast ever so slightly. And that's the same, I don't sort of vary it per map or anything like that. I don't really want to go too fine-grained. If you're really curious, these are my exact settings that I use for the Black Ops 2 stuff. Blobfish asks, Stu, no beer or no games? Pretty clear-cut choice, really. I'd sooner go without beer than without games. I guess I'm grateful then that I live in a world where I can enjoy both. But no, I mean, alcohol it's not something I need to function. I mean, I drink beer more for the taste these days, really. Wraith0824 says, hey Stu, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? I'd probably spend a few $100K on a new house, pay it down completely, and after that, well, I guess I'd probably wrap up the Black Ops weapon guides, and then, following that, I'd probably do more silly videos. Videos that I, personally, myself, want to do. It'd be nice to sort of produce stuff without having, you know, to worry about providing for oneself. It would give you a bit more creative freedom. Relying on your YouTube income kind of makes you a little bit more conservative, less willing to take risks. That's not to say I don't enjoy doing Black Ops 2 videos, but I don't know. Part of me would like to take more risks with the videos I make. Matthias Midjik says, Stu, how did you meet your girlfriend? Well, this is actually some years before we got together, but we actually met at high school. Friend of a friend, you know, that sort of deal. But it wasn't until after university that we actually got together. So that means we've been, together for about 8 years? Maybe approaching 9 years now? I think it's 8 years. I lose track. Space Waste 7 says, hey Stu, what time do you go to bed and wake up? Well, this is probably one area of my life that is distinctly non-conventional in that I don't really have a fixed sleep-wake pattern. I actually do what's called free running sleep, where I basically sleep when I'm tired and wake up when I'm not. Currently, it's now 5 AM in the morning here in the UK. I've been up since about 11 PM. That's when I woke up. So I do keep some pretty funky schedules at times. It's a sleep disorder. It's delayed sleep phase disorder. Basically, I don't stick to a 24-hour schedule. I'm more on like a 25, 26-hour schedule. So the times in my life when I've been, you know, working a 9-to-5 job, I find it very difficult because I get progressively more tired every single day that goes past. I don't know whether it's intrinsic or whether it's just because, you know, I drink caffeine and I stare at screens all day. Maybe it's like artificially induced, but I find free running sleep, you know, basically eliminates any sort of problems I have with tiredness, and it works pretty well for me. Anyway, that's the end of the clips, and so concludes the bonus footage for this week. I'm desperately trying to get 2 weapon guides together this week. We've got the TAC-45 on a Friday, and I'm trying to get the FHJ-18 out on Sunday. And I might even do another Xbox Ahoy Plays on the Friday for release on Saturday, time willing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you then.